Going live, it says. Hey, looky there. All right. Look at some meters. That says I'm pegging out, which means you guys are more than likely hearing vibration in the audio. Hold on. Let me we'll turn that down just a little bit, see if that helps just a touch. I'll speak a little softer. Hey, as you can tell, I have shaved my head. No, that does not mean I have my cranial stem put in yet. I just could not stand the hair touching my eyebrows and eyes. It was down in front of my face. Oh my gosh, I couldn't take it. I have no clue how the cupcake generation runs around like the great unwashed. But they do it, man. It's all to them. That's frustrating as hell to me. Brown Boy April, hello. And T and J Gaming. Man, this is the way I like it. Go down there, get the girls, shave my head, get them to shave my beard. Go back to doing this on a consistent basis. I was just doing a live thing because I know I haven't been putting videos out on the Guns of Glory. Again, they haven't done anything. I'm waiting for the big update that was supposed to be out in February, and now we're getting close to the end of February. And par for the course, it's not there. Which has allowed me to get other things done anyway. So, one of the things I'm going to get done is these live sessions are about to be a lot more interactive. I personally developed software a long time ago for bringing in voice and text via virtual numbers that I control the privacy on and not the phone company. Clarence Dalton, thank you. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Clarence is one of the sponsors. There's been one for more than a month with that icon next to his name. And everybody thinks, and that's the other thing, and Clarence just reminded me of what the other thing is going to be updated. So you guys are going to get a phone number here shortly and be able to call in and be interactive. Yeah, they copied last year's I got people who called me during the WWE that says, man, go after him again. I'm like, man, I pushed my luck on the first WWE. I haven't been on in almost 2 months. I log on to keep my accounts fresh. That's it, to see what the changes are and the updates. I check my phone for updates. And until the next big patch comes out, I'm not going to move everything to the next phase. You have to understand, I've already done the dirty work that needs to get done for the how-tos. If they're not changing anything, then it's just becoming a one-on-one training session, right? So if it's going to become a one-on-one training session because they're slowing down on output or they're changing the game in such a way, then I'm going to make this more interactive with you. And that's where I was getting to, the fact that this is, I'm about to have it so that you have a phone number you can call and you're in there live with the rest of us, just like a radio talk show. Excuse me. I bought 2 different cables. We'll see how it works. I'll probably do another live test session to where we'll see if somebody can call in, and I'll probably pick the person I have call me. And that way we can play around with what's live and what's not. Man, that's the other thing. There's a third thing. You guys, I've already uploaded the video, and I'm about to drop it. All right, I got a call from the VA. So did 4,000 other vets. It was a community call to tell us what a wonderful job they were doing. All right. Now, I don't want anybody thinking that I'm saying Trump's doing this, because these people that did this are the people who put their heads down 2 months before Trump got elected. I am deep into the politics of the VA. All right. I deal with the senators who will look me in the face and lie while I'm showing them a copy of the law they're lying about. So, yeah, somebody else was telling me about somebody on the YouTube, I was going through the comments on the YouTube. Somebody was complaining about, them taking the money again when they screwed up during WWE. You dispute it with Google, and now they're taking all their money back. That's it. The WWE event was where I issued all them refunds. I'm like, whoa, guys, I paid $700 and I'm supposed to get about $1,200 worth of stuff. I got $700 worth of stuff that I didn't want. I only bought it to get the other stuff that was supposed to come along with it. I don't want any of this stuff. And they don't have a way of taking back what they sold you. So they just take your future purchases. So, which is criminal in most states. But I got a video where I came in after the fact. I thought I recorded the audio on my phone. I went over, I hit record button, just like I record conversations on my phones when I'm dealing with VA doctors and stuff. And that button will not record a phone call. And I didn't know that till after the phone call was done. So, in the future, I am probably going to run a live session while the VA's doing their live session, where I'm going to port my phone into the live. And because you guys got to understand, this is my channel. All right. I was GunMuse long before there was Guns of Glory. This channel's been around since 2007. I took down a bunch of my politics stuff a long time ago because I thought I was done with it. I tried to be done with it, but I just cannot tolerate liars. I just can't do it. So I'm about to shoot a couple of videos where I'm going to use my personal account with the VA and demonstrate where they lie to us to our face, tell us to go check out the website, and then where the website's broken, and then they go, oh, sorry, nothing I can do. It's a great way of turning around what we call biding your time until this president's gone. Because they don't want to be held accountable for the money they've been stealing. The visit ratio for vets standing in line who are dying in line is as bad as it's ever been. Only now they turn around and every 90 days hit a check mark showing that they showed up to a visit. So we can't accuse them of letting them die in line. They run a line. It's just they run a donut line. And by that I mean you go to the VA, they hand out free coffee and donuts while you wait for your 15-minute visit where they ask, why are you here today? Because they don't know why you're there. And then they say, oh, time's up. See you again in 90 days. I've accumulated enough audio and video that this is going to be a blowout of exposure. This is one, and then one. I got to also update because you guys, some of you guys in the chat here give out money. The 4 charities that I donate to are down to 3, and the reason being is our American Legion here locally, we closed it down 4 days ago. Shut the books down, sent the paperwork into the IRS. There just wasn't enough interest because I live in a transient town. This is an oil field community. The people who are here to work. They're not here to live out the rest of their lives. And we had 7 people that were showing up to meetings, even though we had 150 on the rolls. And 7 people aren't going to keep doing the work for 150 people, especially if the 150 people don't care. So that one's now off my list. I will at some point get in there and reshoot that video and bring that list current. But I want to make a public record that I keep up that I've told you guys, hey, it's only 3 charities now. It's not 4. I still got the videos hiding, but the look, the GunMuse name is a 20-year-old trademark. I shut down all the gun stuff when Google bought YouTube. All right, got to remember Google didn't create YouTube; they bought it, and that was 2007. Now I already had. Now I owned my own magazine, and I was using the YouTube platform because I didn't have to pay for bandwidth of my videos. And prior to YouTube, if I shot a video of a gun or review that we were doing, I had to pay for everybody that watched it. And for all the YouTube complainers that build YouTube channels out there, you don't hear me complaining about the little bit of money I get from YouTube, because I know how much it costs to do it on your own. How much capital outlay you can throw out there and still get 20, 30 cents back. Now, when I get 20, 30 cents back, I get to keep the 30 cents. We don't do the gun stuff no more. Liberals will not tolerate speech they don't agree with. So you have to, if you're going to use their world, you got to agree with their world, or they will punish you. Everybody's coming in here commenting about my bald head. The hairstyle was like, you were just in here I was in there like 5 days. I got it cut. And I've been telling them, they go, what are you doing with your hair? And I said, I'm racing to see whether or not I get my cranial stent before I grow a ponytail. And guys, it was, the hair in my bangs was touching the bottom of my chin. And I'm wearing my hat all over the place. Where's my hat? Now I wear my hat so I don't scare the little children. That way they know I've been a winner for a long, long time. Woo, go Chiefs. Hey, there's no double audio or buzzing, is there? I was over amplifying a little earlier, and I made an adjustment. I can hear the rasp in my voice, but other than that, 3:57 I am. What's up, boss? Yeah, you guys, you have to understand, HIPAA, the privacy in HIPAA applies to the patient. So I can't go grab another veteran who's being screwed over and bring him in here and say, tell me all about that. Well, let's talk to your doctor. It would be a nightmare to go talk to the doctor. It's a nightmare for me to go get information from my doctors. So the video series that's about to come in, I'm going to keep doing the Guns of Glory stuff. I got the other channel that is starting to kick butt on the World of Warcraft. I think I'm up to a couple 300 subscribers over there now. And I had one video that blew out a couple thousand watches right off the bat. And I'm slacking there. I think I got 5 of them shot that I haven't uploaded yet. So I got that going. And then the other thing I got going is, do I have something to show you? No, I really don't. Okay, you all know 5G's coming, all right? Now, 5G was a concept back in 2003 that I called the wagon wheel, all right? Because I live in an oil field town. And out in the middle of the desert, these oil companies need as much communication power as they can get, and all they had was satellite. And it's the worst possible communication you can get. So we want to use cellular connections. It's never been available. We're too close to the end of the earth down here near Mexico, and they're even further out away from town. And I'll tell you what the bank told me back when I was trying to borrow the funds to build what we are now calling 5G. And that was, there was not enough 12-year-old girls where I was wanting to put internet. And I couldn't explain to them that there was 200,000 professionals all with their personal cell phones that were going to wind up using the service. And the way the banking business model on cellular works is the number of 12-year-old girls will determine how much money you can borrow to create an internet service. That's how they determine saturation math. So AT&T bought DirecTV, and when they did that, I said, oh, I already know what's coming. And what's coming is the idea better told me that you can't do. And they're just calling it 5G. And shortly, you're not going to have satellite TV no more. You're not going to need cable TV anymore. You're going to get a device. That's why I was wondering if I had something to show you, because it didn't here yet, but I thought I had a mock-up, but I don't remember where I put it. I got a cellular device that looks like a Wi-Fi router, all right? But it's a cellular device. With that, I can get unlimited upload and download, which means that I may be able to do this streaming in much better quality. So that's one of the reasons I'm pursuing that. But more importantly, I've got an entire design that goes in a suitcase to where I can take a suitcase out to an oil field company, set it down in the lead man's trailer, and provide them with high-speed internet enough that they can watch Netflix at night, which they can't do right now on their current service. So, but more importantly, they can get their data back in real time. They can have local data servers and backups and stuff like that. So, now the beauty of that kind of internet service that I'd be providing out in the middle of these one-off things, I can charge $150 a day for that internet. And that means each and every oil rig that I put on as a customer is $3,000 to $5,000 in the company, in the money in the company that we're building here. Money's going to wind up going in the same places all this other donation stuff goes. So this is about building a platform that 5 years from now could be worth $1 billion or so. And then the money keeps feeding the charity design that I've got set up. So it's just a big, long think ahead. And we're starting to put some of my ideas that I had on the back burner out on the front burner. So that's where when we turn around, I say I'm going to have the call-in thing where you guys can call us in. And then it's going to text you back, do that. That information sharing technology I invented. All right. And it's not online tech. Even though it's texting your phone, it's allowing me to get your number so I can call you back so you don't have to sit there and wait on hold. Can allow you to ask your question in a text so that not everybody sees it to determine whether or not I want to talk about it. I'm literally about to rewrite every national talk show host call-in software as well. All the same tech. It's just a different application of the same tech that I built. I've been kind of lazy. I I only used it for myself for about 4 years. I didn't tell anybody about it. I used it on my gun magazine so that there was one phone number on the gun magazine. When you call it, the local gun dealer picked up the phone, not me. I never had to answer the phone. And you always got the guy down the street. That way I could run a national ad campaign and keep all sales local, which is the number one goal of any growing economy. So the software is designed to fix the Amazon, eBay, worldwide economy problem that they create. For those who keep up on the news or don't keep up on the news, you should have been hearing about the head of Treasury going after Amazon for the amount of counterfeiting they're allowing in the United States. And this just broke like in the last 3 or 4 weeks. But if you've watched any of my live shows on there, we've talked about it in the past. Amazon is the number one source of counterfeiting in the world. They are the pawn shop for the world. And it's got to be dealt with. I invented that software that I'm talking about for the purpose of giving your local retailer back their market. Guys, and that's the other thing I'm going to do. I'm going to have up on my computer store website, because I'm about done and shut down this computer store stuff. I've been trying to shut it down for 5 years. And then the most insulting crap has happened this month. I don't know how I've kept my cool. Of people walking in, handing me their phone, and asking me to pick something out on Amazon for them. I can't pay your prices. They hadn't even asked what they are yet. Here's a dirty little secret. I'm about 15% cheaper than Amazon. Ain't telling them after they freaking walk in and tell me I don't know how to do my damn job. How do you make that? What's that, TJ? I talked about so much stuff before I looked down, I don't know what you're referencing. We don't want too long of silence. Oh, were we talking about the... Which stat should I increase after troop, infantry, distance, or cav? Are we talking about attack or are we talking about defensively? Defensively, I would do infantry. Attack, I would do distance. For those of you who are new, we have the join channel, the youtube.com/join, and it's voluntary. The money that goes to that is how I feed my charities. You guys are going to be more actively involved in what I'm doing with the charities. We're going to do a little more of in-depth exposure of what's going on with the VA because I'm tired. Fox News is a collaborator. They are now a POW of the war. There is one show on Fox News that is putting out truth. And I used to swear to God to people Neil Cavuto was the best thing ever to watch. And that SOB, I know why the president's having a problem with him. He is just flat out lying about the state of certain numbers. And I don't like that. There seems to be this onus from show to show to show at right after renewal time for contracts. People's quality of truth goes down. You have a friend suggestion on Facebook. Man, I don't have that up, do I? Okay. I think I went to school with her mom. Man, I don't like that at all. That's like creepy. Hi, I just became friends with your kid. The right? Brandon, thanks. And Brown Boy April. Where's T&J? So like T&J, like you have a channel. So if you would want to use the tech, and I'll tell you why I'm not stupidly famously rich, guys. This is the dirty little secret about people like me who can think up stuff, design stuff, build it, and then not give a shit about having to track customers. I am the worst person ever for tracking customers who owe me money. And I can think off the top of my head, mentioning it right now, at least 7 oil companies that owe me money right now. And I should have sometime out this week gone out and hunted them down. But I don't like to do it. Green plus symbols on my airship. I don't even know what you're talking about, Cody. That must be a feature that's come out in the last 2 months. Guys, until they come out with the next level of software, I'm not going to do a lot of new stuff. Because then it's just me spending time rehashing old stuff that all they did was change the graphics on. I am going to go out there and redo all the stuff with the new graphics. But I need them to stabilize a little bit for. I was chasing a update after an update after an update after an update. And then they're going in and fixing stuff after I put the video out. And then sending trolls out there to tell everybody I'm a liar. So what I did was I stopped them. I cut it down for a little bit. Shut down the... I don't know how me and you are watching the same video that I'm putting up on the screen. I'm commenting on it. And they go, well, you didn't just see what you saw. But they try. Yeah. Oh. Well, that's not new. That's been out since November. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think Brandon's got it, not the guards on the airship. Yeah, Cody, but you're talking thousands and thousands of dollars to get to that level, just so you know. Don't get jealous of that, because if you guys haven't watched Revenge Gamer outed him for the cheating. And it got worse. And after he outed everybody and then made it public that some guys were cheating, the number of cheaters went through the roof too. And then there in our kingdom, yeah, I said I hadn't been on since November. I damn sure hadn't done a KVK. And you should. It's a maxed out stat. What is that? Oh, that's in front of my face. Let's see if I can. There we go. All right, so we got https dink 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 youtube.com/dink. I need to link that up in there. That's what gets the symbol next to your name. Yeah, when I do the VA series. Now, I want you guys that are on here all the time with me to remember this when I do the VA series, because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. The VA is going to come after me. They're going to pull what they do normally to veterans that give them grief. But a normal veteran that gives them grief doesn't have a platform to tell everybody what's been going on or to show them what's been going on. And so I'm going to preempt before the VA does any action to tell you that the VA is spiteful little children who will come after me. They did it once before, and I had to let it slide or take the Veterans of Foreign War down with me. When I was the National Deputy Chief of Staff of the Veterans of Foreign War, the troll Twitterers came after me, and the 70-year-old men that were around me had no clue what to do. It was like, oh my God, these people are threatening to quit the Veterans of Foreign Wars. I'm like, that's Captain Kirk, Admiral Janeway, Commander Cachoche. It's the entire cast of the Starship Enterprise. Well, I was on the Enterprise, not that Enterprise guy. We're talking about the space show. There's a real carrier called the Enterprise. Yeah, you're going to find 357 that there are 2 different releases going on in the game at the same time, about 2 weeks apart, where they release it to half the kingdoms and they release it to another. So in something like the Fort, where the kingdoms get intermixed, yeah, I would have bet that would have happened. $24 million kill. Power or number? I need to get my hands out from in front of my face. I got accused of sponsorship for some reason. I have people who are so hateful, they do everything they can to try and make my life difficult. I will watch. You got to watch the language, man. They auto blocked you there, Con. Man, I just got to where I can move again. I had 2 trips to Lubbock, but that's a 6-hour round trip for me. for a 45-second CT scan. And then I've been throwing this fit because the VA didn't send over the original MRIs of my brain from 3 years ago, where it would have shown progression of the vessel issue that I've got going on in there. They literally act like they don't even know this thing exists called a chart room, where they store your records at the medical. I promise you guys, one of the reasons I'm going to do this is political. I'm about to show everybody what socialized medicine looks like. Because apparently you cannot convince people to understand that China has Medicare for all. That would be the place where everybody's dying. And if anybody dares try to escape, they shoot them. Yeah. No, on the call me Escree. Man, that was hard to do. They're on a pattern. I'm waiting for a major update, the one that will release C-45s. Until that point, I don't think there's going to be any stabilization. Because once they release the C-45s, they should, business-wise, stop trying to sell stats and start trying to sell castle growth again, like they used to. I think they're cycling back to where they came from back when C-30 was the cap. So I've got to look at it from a business standpoint, from their side versus what you want and they want. Yeah, but I heard that 2 years ago too, Brandon. He said that their excuse is everyone's been a servant of the spenders. To be honest, the business model is based off those spenders. But they built a good strategy game that got spenders addicted, and it'll get other people addicted as well without the heavy spending. You can't build these things without coining. I mean, that's not possible. I mean, it's still a business. People have to eat, sleep, live indoors, and that's not happening for free. And every time you hear the word, I want something for free, it's costing 3 times more than it should cost. You got to remember, guys, one of the other games that promotes World of Warcraft Classic, billions of people worldwide, it costs me $15 a month to play for 50 hours a week at the top of my game. I'm Ubering that game. Cost me $15 a month. And since I took the 2-month hiatus, where I've been putting my personal money is in all this gear and stuff that we're starting to see around in here. Like I said, it took me a little bit to find some cables. And then I had an idea. I went and bought this. It's for cars. So I told you, next live event, I'm going to have live call-in callers. I'm hoping to encourage more interactivity by doing that. So I got this deal. It's for cars. And you plug it in the phone, and then it's got a little button on the top for answering the phone call. And I did that because my phone auto locks with a thumbprint. And I kind of want that to happen just in case I accidentally move my phone up around in front of the camera. I don't want anybody to see what's on the screen. So I'm going to have it auto locked. All right. Yeah. I'm done spending money. That's what everybody says, right? I'm done spending money. That ain't it. That's it. I wonder. That's actually a headset plug-in. I gotta route this through the computer. Set up some filming profiles that allow me to turn the input on and off with software. A modern way. What was wrong with the old Let's Get It? My favorite was Let's Roll. Are you old enough to know where Let's Roll comes from? How about Get Her Done? Ain't Scared. There's the real old one. Ain't scared of nothing. And that was off the Fear something or another, which was like a truck accessory. You say you're going to quit spending, you can go back and spend $50 more. You're talking about Universal U, not me. I've never told anybody I was going to quit spending. I do things the freeway. I do things in 3 methods. I do things the freeway, the moderate way, and then the expensive way. And then what I don't publish is the how to log on and click spend. That's just bragging is what that is. I'm not here to brag, but I can show and demonstrate how to do things the slower, easier, free way, and how to take advantage of a budget. The problem that I found is most players don't budget and adhere themselves to a budget. I did not shave my head. Lovely young woman down there at the thing did for me. I don't even shave my beard anymore. They only charge me $3 to have them shave my beard now. I got a set of twins down there at the beauty parlor that do my hair. Keep me looking pretty. Yeah. Yeah, I could not stand one more minute of that hair down in my eyes. I was gonna stick it out. Tell you what, if I was a prisoner of war, they'd have broke me. All they'd had to do is say, we'll allow you to cut your hair if you just tell us everything. I'll talk. What do you want to know? No, I'm not going to use that. And that's an extension cord. You SOBs. All right. Well, I'll deal with that later. Frickin' Walmart. What are you going to do? We have to integrate with new trends. No, I don't. Let's Roll were the last words on tape of the Flight 99 that went down in 9/11, where the passengers took over the terrorists in the cockpit and crashed the flight themselves. Good tip there, Ron. Ron says, don't upgrade anything that was in the Cupid event until the next 50% reduction event, which should be St. Patrick's Day, which that'd be middle of March, right? Why March 15th sticking in my head? Oh, that's the Ides of March. Who knows what the Ides of March is? That's when the French stabbed all the Knights Templars in the back. The Knights Templar had loaned France money to get them out of debt. Instead of repaying their debt, the French went and killed everybody. Which is the premise behind the show Oak Island. Yeah, this got on my mind today because I had people call me today and ask if I was going to come back for KVK or not. I was like, nah, not today. I've got just way too much going on, and I'm trying to increase the amount of tech and hardware that I've got here so that I can do more with the limited time that I have. And then I'm really waiting to get this cranial stent in because I'm hoping that's going to cut down the headaches. That's been killing my work week. I can't work more than a few hours at a time. This isn't really work here, but I like doing the live sessions because I don't have to edit anything. My nose is just going to itch just because I'm on film. But when I got to sit up and edit film, things like that, man, I start getting headaches real bad. Master Gears, poo. People do spend that much money at one time. Look, don't ever underestimate the power of addiction. You know, I've tried snorting my phone. It didn't get me high, but there's other ways to feed the addiction with your phone. I've got a full Master. I think I was Master 3 when I logged off. My understanding is they introduced new gyms again. I hadn't actually looked around enough to know. The 50% events really could, well, the 50% events don't exist in the new kingdoms, the brand new kingdoms. Guys, if you'll remember February 11th, that was the last time I did a live. And I turned around and I said, do not blow your freaking tax income checks on this game. You're seeing people blow their tax income checks on this game. They think they're going to spend $100 out of it, and then next thing you know, they've gone through the $900 freaking credit card they handed them down at Walmart for their refund before they knew what happened. They do it in hours. It's and what's funny is it's because they didn't get any satisfaction from the first $100. The secret to using these games and still entertaining yourself is budget planning of time and growth. I want to have this much by this time. Figure out how much it costs to go from point A to point B, and don't try and if you're gonna, I guarantee you, if you wait and use the events to your absolute advantage every time, you'll get further ahead on those stats than what you planned for. Okay? I know because I've done it over and over and over again. You'll get way ahead on those stats for a lot less money. I never number one in the kingdom. I think I was usually top 15, top 20. And guys, now my budget is about $800 a month. Now, that doesn't mean I spend $800 a month on one account. My budget is about $800 a month to do what I do for you guys. Even that is a loss leader. I mean, that's me donating money to get you to donate money to something else. But that's me proving out the fact that if I put the money in, will we get more money out? And the answer is yes. I put about $12,000 to $13,000 into Guns of Glory in 2019, and we got about $47,000 back from you guys for the military charities. So a 400% increase in our output was proof of model. And now we're spending a lot of time on the phone with people trying to explain to them that we've done it. We don't need to prove it out no more. We spent a year proving out the model over and over and over again. You sound a little younger there, Carlo. If you spend $100, got $400 in 400 in stats, you're a smaller account to begin with. I mean, that would be big jump. Those are huge jumps. You get up on the other end, guys, where you're in that top 10% of the kingdom. You're gonna find that 25 stat. It costs you, $100 to get 20 stats, 10 stats. Was about their math. It was very expensive. Oh yeah, when 1500 was insane, you could still win with a C29. Me and Lily Fairchild, we slowed our growth and maximized our stats when we started K362. And it was a nightmare for everybody. We would sit there and beat up C35s with our 1500 stat C29s. And man, I swear to God, Entropia. Hold on. I got to open up another window here. What is Entropia? Is it a game? Is it a YouTuber? What is it? You got to be more specific. This is why we're going to start doing some audio stuff. So you guys, when you want me to check things out and do things around, we can be a little more interactive on it. Yeah, that's a house payment, man. Yeah, $1,000 a month. How nice is your sports car? Yeah, that's what's sad is a bunch of the people I've seen spending that much couldn't afford it. You can't afford to stick with it. Oh, I'm not playing any more MMORPGs. I'll tell you, here's the thing. I'm loving the World of Warcraft Classic. 2 reasons. One, the kids quit Classic pretty quick. The under 18s. And for the most part, in that MMORPG, you get an entire courteous adult atmosphere right up until 3 o'clock Eastern time. And then it becomes a little screw around fest. So after bedtime, when all the kids are in bed and when they're in school, the game's awesome. You want to play on the weekend, you can't get crap done because they're so busy looking out for number 1, they're screwing themselves and everybody else around them because they have no clue how an MMORPG works. They're trying to YouTube and Google how something works when YouTube didn't exist when World of Warcraft Classic was alive. YouTube came out 2 years after vanilla ended. All the old vanilla YouTube how-tos are based on the nerfed game, where they made it really, really easy to run around and kill stuff. So I've been following those how-tos that I've been finding online, and some of them are way over people's heads, where they'd gone in and nerfed the mobs. So I first run through there with my hunter, because my hunter can get in over his head all day long. Matter of fact, with him, I'll run around and kill a leech by himself. Need a lot of storage space. I'm not doing... Oh. Crafty, how you doing? You shouldn't need a lot for the Classic. I think somewhere in that tool that downloads the game for you, I think it downloads the retail at the same time. World of Warcraft Classic was only 13 gigs. Left chest. Yeah, if there was a way to stop the desire of people without money Look, they need to break this game into classes. The people who are spending stupid amounts of money need to be in an area where you can do that, and bring the strategy back to the game. And then mid levels and low levels, and then your free accounts. The is your laptop like less than 5 years old? You have to remember, WoW Classic was designed back when DDR1 was the new rage. And people who had and if you really wanted your computer to go faster, you got 2 gigs of RAM in it, which cost you like $400. With 172. Oh, it's older than 5 years old? Oh. Have you ever replaced the hard drive in it? You don't need a new one. Matter of fact, Crafty, I was just telling everybody that because I'm trying to shut down the computer store, I'm going to put some how-tos up on the computer store's webpage. One of them is going to be taking old laptops and turning them into new laptops for pennies on the dollar. SSDs are stupid cheap right now, and you can make a Windows 10 thumb drive for free. There's a dirty little secret to how to make those that you can't even get from Microsoft. I'm certified by Microsoft, and Microsoft won't tell me how to do it. I had to figure it out on my own. And I'm going to put that dirty little secret out to the world and make a video on it. And K172, okay. So we'll make it. If your hard drive is more than 3 years old with modern hard drives, that's typically what's slowing a computer down so much. And people don't realize that it's also a big portion of the web. But as for graphics, anything else, that stuff in World of Warcraft is older than dirt. One of the problems I had because I got such bad eyesight, you know what, I'll pull that up, just kind of demonstrate. The computer you're watching this on right now, Crafty, is 10 years old, by the way. All right. Oh. Well, crap. I shouldn't have logged him off there anyway. Now, modern graphics cards, anything that came out 6 months to a year after the game came out. So if your computer is newer than 2000, say 8, it is beyond the capabilities of the game. That said, I was in Dust Well March. Oh, I am. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to look at some grass, right? Control Z. All right. And then I'm going to dink system. Okay. On the graphics, because the graphics cards of today are so good, even in the worst possible configuration, people can turn around and go ultra high, 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 ultra. You couldn't do that back then. And the graphics are so old. See, I turned my ground clutter down to 0. Now see how thick the grass is? Well, that means I can't find the objects that I'm looking for. So ground clutter down to 0. Don't try and overdo the graphics just because your computer is newer than the game is. And you'll be thanks. You see this full blown out custom interface. That's some of the stuff I've been showing people how to do. And, oh, not what I want to do. I keep saying interface, and I don't want to do that. System. Then you get into this advanced, okay? And the market has gone out there and said, frames per second, frames per second. Well, look, I can turn it up 200 frames per second. But here's the thing. And I don't even know why I had that at 100. I'm turning it back down to 35. Why am I turning it down to 35? Science proved about 15 years ago that anytime you go above 40 frames per second, it starts giving you headaches, and I already suffer from headaches. So that might have been. So there's a whole bunch of settings. I'm about to do a whole thing on downgrading your quality, because there's one thing I can't do in the old classic game that I could do way back when that I can't do now, and that is when it rains, I can't play the game. And that's because of my eyesight. But I'm not the only one complaining about it. So turn down the environmental detail. So we lower the quality of graphics to make for a better game. We used to play with the graphics for speed, things like that. We don't do that no more. Oh. Yeah. Always log off in and in so that you can get rested XP, so that you can level your tunes faster. Yeah. And you see, I've been going slow. I've got 55, a 50. All this stuff will probably be, I'll have 2 of them up to 60, which is max, within a week or so. I have been playing each tune a little bit, just like I did in Guns of Glory. I've been going, I just started building the Shaman about 2 days ago, called Shamagan. I only play that one during off hours because I cannot, oh, damn, guys. I freaking forgot to switch the damn input, so you're all going like, what the hell is he talking about? Yeah. I ain't going back and doing it. We'll do it live on the other channel sometime. Let me get up there and see. Well, Crafty, I'm about to put out my recommendation for this year on a good, better, best laptop and gaming machine built for purpose. Okay? What I mean by built for purpose is the machines I'm going to tell you to buy are designed to run at least 5 years, and if you're doing the desktop versions of them, you're going to get 10 years out of them. After 5 years, you're going to replace hard drives and do upgrades. The whole goal of what I buy for the customers around here basically is the reason I went out of business. I got customers walking back in here now and bringing me their computers from 10 years ago. Well, I expected them to come back every 3 years, but we sold them such good equipment, it lasted them 10, and they've had no complaints. They didn't even start walking into the door till Windows turned around and said, hey, we're not supporting Windows 7 anymore. My customers went, well, I need to replace Windows 7 with Windows 10. And I've done a bunch of that on old computers. We put a new hard drive in there, put Windows 10 on it. They're good for another 3-4 years. A properly built motherboard and a properly built CPU setup. The secret is to not get stupid on CPU and not get stupid on RAM, but where you're going to spend money is on motherboard. And if you do that, life is good for a long time. So I'm going to put together a recommendation of a good, better, best. You can fit it in your budget wherever you want to fit it in your budget. And then that's going to be, and I'll probably do that once a year from now on. And that'll be my going out of business with the computer world. Because the computer repair business has gone the way of the TV repair business. There's no money in it. We have to flat fee repairs just to be just to get the customer to say yes to let us repair, and the cost of doing business has gone too damn high. But a lot of the gaming sites will appreciate the stuff I'm going to put together for the recommendations. They'll copy what I've done and put their own affiliate links on it, of course. But that's neither here nor there. AMD right now is the gold standard of CPU as of today. The new Ryzen processors have scared the crap out of Intel. Intel's throwing cores at things, and there's the other little marketing bullshit that comes out. More cores does not make it more better. I promise you that it's exactly the opposite. If you're doing what I'm doing, okay, where I've got a new machine. This machine that I'm on right now is 10 years old, and we're building a new machine for it. Now, I'm going to be $4,000 into this new machine. And that's cheap for what the machine does. What I used to build these machines I'm on now for, about $12,000 10 years ago, $12,000 to buy one of these things. It's still in the top 1% of the speed of the country when you look at playing a game or something like that. But when I have to go and process video, now I need those multi-cores. And I need those multi-cores to have lanes. And lanes is on the motherboard. And Well, I get that, Crafty, but you know, you can, if your computer's over 3 years old and it was cheap one to begin with, it's probably got a 360 gig hard drive, or you've had it since you were a 12-year-old and you've got 19 million selfies on it. Really, which is pictures is generally a lot of it. And with the age of the computer, you're at risk of losing all those pictures anyway. But I'll demonstrate how to do that repair yourself. It's only about $80 off of Amazon to take a laptop that's over 3 years old and make it better than new. It's not hard these days. What's hard is to make money telling you how to do it. Okay? So the reason no one's telling you how to do it is because you can't make money telling you how to do it, so why the hell do I give a damn whether or not you can do it? I make money in different ways, so I'm going to tell you how to do it, and then can't complain. That reminds me, I did pick up a new sponsor. BlueStacks is now a sponsor. I haven't finished all the paperwork with them yet, but that's in the works. That's another reason for doing the computer stuff, is so that when you have your new computer and it's ready to go, you can put BlueStacks on it and play Guns of Glory on the BlueStacks. I'll have some links and stuff up for the BlueStacks here shortly. I'm getting so screwed over by the Amazon guys. They don't want to talk about it, but I'm about to freaking shoot videos on that. WoW's on the other channel there, Jerry. I have a separate channel for WoW. I'm not mixing genres. But the GunMuse channel is going to have some of my VA stuff on it, because that's where the money gets donated to. So you're going to start seeing some of my VA videos as well as the Guns of Glory videos. And we're going to be bringing in other games as soon as we get to the point. I don't want any more PC games. I do want, on the GunMuse channel, the other games we bring in are going to wind up being phone games. Just to kind of keep. Yeah, you've got a very crappy laptop if all that's going on. I'll get you a $400 recommendation that will be an outstanding computer. If you guys want to look around, you're looking for Ryzen 5. That's going to be my recommendation. You want to look for screen resolutions that are above 1080p. The higher the screen resolution, the better the motherboard. They won't tell you what motherboard's in there, but you'll get a better motherboard with the same graphics card with a higher screen resolution. And that's because of how the motherboard and the screen plug in together. You can't run a crappy motherboard with a good video card and expect the screen resolution to work. So laptops are different than desktops. Desktops, we can pick and choose all your parts and put them together. I think the bottom end desktop that we're going to recommend is going to be somewhere around $1,100-1,200 bucks. It's going to be a Ryzen 5 as well, 16 gigs of RAM. Probably the most expensive portions of it is going to be the 2 terabyte M2 data hard drive. They're about 500% faster than SSDs, and we've outrun hard drives for 15 years. SSDs are too slow, all honestly. So a good motherboard and a quality hard drive, one that can run faster, and the processor's still going to be outrunning it, even from a smaller standpoint. So now that I've said it out loud, I'm going to have to get it done this week. But yeah, don't fall for them new i9s. That's a scam. You're going to spend a lot of money for something that doesn't work worth a damn. Yeah, I don't even know how they would recommend to enable certain graphics. Oh, they're thinking post Windows 8. Your computer's older than Windows 8, right, Brandon? Man, there's actually talk of creating game simply because it's not friendly talk. And I'll be honest, if they're listening right now, it's not friendly talk because I've done enough with financiers over the last 35 years to know that guys with money are lying sacks of shit. They want their money back now. They do not know how things are done. They do not care how things are done. And frankly, in the game industry, the guys who finance the building of games bring their own blueprint on how to market games to market. And I own my own marketing system. I own a marketing system that is 400% better than anything else out there. And that scares people. Now, I can prove somebody else's marketing isn't all that great with my system. It's not hard to do. So all these guys that were coming in there, and really what they were doing was they're getting kickbacks on their own money. They were running it like a damn political campaign. You know, hey, here's my wife. She's in charge of buying ads. And she gets 15 cents on every dollar that got donated to the campaign. Okay, so the gaming industry, kind of the same individuals. Yeah, if it's the one I'm thinking about, when people say Toshiba Satellite, I tend to think about the plain black griddle one that's a 15.25 inch, $200 out of Walmart. See, if it's a Windows 8 laptop, replace the hard drive and install Windows 10. You guys are going to need that article from me to install Windows 10 from a thumb drive. If you guys want to build take an old computer out of the thing and use it for a bot computer or use it to play, because an old computer will play these phone games outstandingly. Okay, there's just a limit to how many windows you can have open. Like the computer I use to run multiple instances of the game, well, I have 24 CPUs in that machine. I have 130 gig of RAM. And that machine came out in 2009. It's a full-blown $60,000 server I converted into an Autobot gaming machine. So it goes over and does little silly things for me that I ain't got time to do. Yeah, there's a tool for downloading and making a thumb drive. It's free from Windows 10. The dirty little secret is you have to put that program on the thumb drive before you execute it. You have to execute from the thumb drive. And then it's going to tell you it's going to format the thumb drive. Right? You know, wait a minute. You can't format the thumb drive if the software that you're running is on the thumb drive. And you can, and they do. And if you don't do it that way, you'll never build that free Windows 10 thumb drive. So go down to Microsoft and download the program directly to a thumb drive, and then have it load Windows 10 back to the same thumb drive you launch it from. Get an 8 gig stick. Avoid the SAN disks. Those Walmart SAN disks are slower than dirt. They'll drive you nuts. You'll swear there's something wrong with your computer, and there's not. No, GOG phones, everybody keeps calling these things smart devices, right? There's nothing smart about these things. In the 1980s, we used to call them dumb terminals. All they do is repeat what another server says. That's all they do. This is a graphical interface to a much smarter computer somewhere else. Nothing is smart on this device. It has sensors, but it's a dumb terminal. 11.5 gig needed. If you look at your computer and you click on the C drive, what does it say for your use storage? If you don't have 11 gig on a hard drive, your computer could crash at any minute. Once you break 50% on a hard drive, your computer is at risk. They don't tell you that. Yeah, Crafty, if you don't give a damn about that computer, you don't have anything on it, do what I just told him to do. Go look the Microsoft Windows 10 USB tool to make a USB. Well, it depends on what you want to talk about. What, Wanda? Wandy? I can't even see that picture. Is that Elmo? I don't know what that is. Man, we're just getting random people to just flow through here. That's been happening a lot more during the lives. I think Google's pushing me out to more and more players. Let's see what we got here. And yeah, I've got to get some money loaded up to my phone company for the software that I'm talking about. And then next live event, we'll have a call in. I may or may not, I don't know. I have to look. I will look at buying a British phone number as well at some point. Maybe an Aussie one too. SanDisks are Chinese-made memory, and it runs so stinking slow that if I allowed SanDisks in my business, the money I would have, the $2 I would have saved over a good Kingston thumb drive from that I would have got, probably would have cost me $150,000 in labor, because that thumb drive is that slow. For you, you're only going to do it once. Go for it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Where is it? Hold on a second. Oh! This thumb drive here cost me $480. I've had it for almost 10 years. This is a Kingston Extreme. And, well, I haven't had this one for that long, because because when we were doing this, we were testing thumb drive speeds. We used to set these things on fire. They're rated at 500 megs per second. And I can tell you right now, they'll catch on fire right about 300. But I could load a game for one of the things that we were doing all that speed for was it took, like Crafty's having a problem downloading World of Warcraft. Well, it would take frickin' a day and a half to download the damn thing. And you could come down to our store and I could put it in your computer in 2 minutes with one of these thumb drives. This is 60 gigs, which was huge in the day. Now I just use it for general repairs. It's got a copy of Windows 10 on it. The Windows 10 version you're looking for right now, as of me speaking, is 1909. Okay, so you want to make sure you make the if you're taking notes on how to make your own Windows 10 and repair your laptop. And guys, I will tell you, if your laptop is over 2 years old, replace the hard drive. A 500 gigabyte solid state hard drive runs about $60 right now. You do not need a terabyte. You do not need 2 terabytes. If you're repairing an old laptop just to play the game on or do stuff like that with, even if you're going to play World of Warcraft and 5 other games, 500 gig is more than big enough. And the SSD is going to be 2-3 times faster than the original round disk was when it was new. You got to remember, right now it's not new; it's slower than dirt. Yeah, I'm gonna let me get the page built first, Crafty, and then I'm gonna use you as a guinea pig. Let me get the audio built so that we can bring in a phone call. I will build the how-to, and you tell me where I'm going wrong and explaining stuff, because I know I have things that are running through my head that aren't spitting out my mouth, and I'm probably skipping steps. But we'll get into that. I'll try to get some of that done today. That's not a laptop. That's a Chromebook. If you only got 21 gigs on there, that's a 32 gig Chromebook. Or you had a really uber solid state laptop back when 32 gigs seemed like a big deal. The HP, oh, don't get me lying. They came in blue and pink, and I bought a bunch of them for once upon a time. Oh, hold on. See, like this little HP here. Right? That was like $1,200. All right. 32 gig is the limit of the hard drive on there. Now I got Windows 10 on here. It came out originally Windows 8. I put Windows 10 on there, and then I can't find the power cord. It's a real custom power cord. It's somewhere in my office. I just don't know where. But yours is blue. You've got an HP. It's probably about the size of what this little one is, right? And has a 32 gig little hard drive on there. I'll tell you what you need to get, Crafty, that can make this work. Look at that, guys. I just figured out what she had blind. She's over in England. I've been doing this a while. And I'm not going to do it no more. You can't make me. On the side of that, Crafty, is an SD card slot. And what you're going to look for down at the local store is a Class 10 SD card, and see if you can't get something that's at least 256 gig. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put, oh, you're in Ireland? Even better. If you're looking for, if you look for a 256 gig card, you're going to put that in there, and then there is a way to turn that into your hard drive. All right, guys. I realize, and we're starting to taper off from my high there. Man, I do appreciate talking with you, everybody, again. Get up there. Everybody sees me on film and they go, my gosh, you're not this feeble little guy. Freaking barely get out of a damn chair. Actually, I'm feeling great today. You'd have seen me 2 days ago. Well, you wouldn't have seen me. I couldn't even sit into a chair 2 days ago. I get to where I overexert my muscles. I spent a day standing and talking to people that walked in the office. And because I don't like to sit down and talk to people. And well, I'm gonna get some tools built this week. So sometime in the next 2 weeks, we're gonna move to the next level. I got a kid that's supposed to come by and help me clean up this green screen mess that I got here. We're gonna try a couple more things before. See the waves and the lines and the wrinkles and all that stuff that won't work. And it's not chroma green like it's supposed to be. I tried to save a little money, and I'm not happy. It doesn't go black. It goes brownish black. It works, but it doesn't work type thing. And I need to get all the wrinkles out of it, so I'm going to have to go buy a steam cleaner, a steamer or some kind. Because I can't steam my walls. Can't iron the walls. But we'll get the phone line tech put in there, and we'll see how that goes. There's 2 reasons for putting the phone line tech in there. I at some point want to be able to talk to you about a product and have that product be linked directly to your phone where you get a text. I want to be able to communicate with you about what I'm talking about. And without your information going public. Because right now you put something into YouTube and it's public. I'm a privacy advocate. I'm a privacy nut. So I've got new tech, and it dawned on me one day how to implement what I designed 5 years ago into the way the world works today. I was a little bit ahead of the market. We'll see what we can do. All right, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.